Marnie, look, I'll come over in a minute, all right? I'm trying to work over here. Richard, come on, let's have a look. Richard, don't call out.
Sir!
Excuse me. You're supposed to be back in your seat over there. No, hang on, you're supposed to be in your seat over there. All right, Joe, you cut that out, all right?
What, me?
It's not funny, Oliver. It's not funny when people throw paper in the room. It's not funny. I am sick and tired of this class. You're on detention. I'm sorry, you're on detention. No, I've been putting up with this all morning. No, I'm sorry. I've done silly things in my life as a teacher. Fallible silly things. Mainly because I've been frustrated and irritated with the class. However, if we pace up and down like that, up and down, as I was trying to model with these convincing glasses here, what we're actually doing is telegraphing far too much energy to the students, and they're not actually listening to what we say. I've worked with colleagues in classrooms, for example, with the U-shaped seating plan, where the teacher moves in amongst the U several times in order to calm the class. In actual fact, they're winding them up. This is very important with students who have attention deficit, diagnosed or otherwise. What we try to do when we're settling a class at the beginning of a lesson is to communicate a sense of calmness in ourselves as well as to the students, and a sense of order and a sense of focus. The most important underlying principle, though, is that we calm ourselves before we calm the students. And I know that this is our first English lesson this morning. Just a few things I want to remind you of. I know you've discussed the basic rights and responsibilities with your tutor teachers, but a few things about how we do this in English. I've got 5 simple things up there, very, very simple. And a number of students are fiddling with pens, and it is quite distracting. Thanks, Oliver. All right, so the first one here is just consider entry. Do you remember I had a brief chat with you about that outside? And once we're in the class, we just settle down, relax in your seats. All right? You don't have to fall asleep, just relax in your seats. And the third one there is to have your appropriate materials, which I can see right through the room, I think. This fourth one here is really, really important. We're going to have lots of class discussions in English. So if you've got a question or a comment, you want to make a contribution, just put your hand up without calling out or without clicking your fingers, and I'm more than happy to respond. And that gives a fair go for everyone. And that's what those letters there mean, fair go for all. So if you've got a question, it's hands up.
Sir?
It's hands up.
Sir?
It's hands up without
Sir?
calling out.
Sir, I've got a question.
Not a problem. Happy to accept
Sir?
questions. Maria, isn't it? Yeah. I'm happy to accept questions.
Sir?
If you've got your hand up, Joe. It's Joe,
Mr.
isn't
Rogers?
it? Yeah. If
Sir?
you've got your hand up without calling out, more than happy to accept your questions. That gives everyone a fair go. Again, in this scene, most of the behaviours are irritating, and it's the amount of them. You know, the calling out, the butting in, the talking while the teacher's talking, student clicking with their fingers, students fiddling with objet d'art, you know, little objects on the table. When we're seeking to initiate and sustain whole class attention, our language is important. We don't ask the students or make requests, would you please face the front and listen? Can you face the front and listen? Nor do we simply make demands. Don't talk while I'm teaching, or people shouldn't be talking while I'm trying to settle this class. It's helpful to describe what we see and then direct. If students are fiddling with objects, a number of students are fiddling with objects on the table and it's really distracting. If you've got a question, hands up, thanks, without calling out. So we try to keep a positive slant on that initial establishment. Once we've established a sense of calmness and focus, though, we've then got to sustain that sense of calmness or focus. That would be Tasmania. Can you see the shape? It's a little bit like it, isn't it? Yeah. Matt. I noticed you've got a Walkman there.
I can work with it on, sir.
I'm sure you can work with it on. What's the school rule for Walkmans?
Mr. Wire doesn't care if we have Walkmans.
He doesn't care?
Right.
No? I can check that with him. What's the school rule for Walkmans?
We're not supposed to have them in the school premises.
I want you to put it in your bag then. So if you like, leave it on my table up there. Okay, thanks. I'll come and check your work a little bit later, okay? Thanks, Matt, isn't it? It's Matt. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Right, oh dear, what's happening over here? Oh dear, let's have a look. Maths in an English class, or English in a maths class. Let's have, I can see a walk. Is that another walk? No,
It's
what is
a
it?
Game Boy.
Do you want to have a look? Oh yes, it is. Yes. It looks like a mobile phone.
No.
It's Joe, isn't it? Yeah. Joe, I want you to put that in your bag, thanks. It is distracting.
I'll not keep it here then.
Yeah, you can put it in your bag, because it is distracting. Or if you like, leave it on my table up there. All right? I'll come and check your work a little bit later, boy. How's it going over here? Jasmine, running? All right? Excuse me. Get that out of your ears now, please.
Hang on.
You've got a Walkman on. Right. Give it to me, please.
No, I can work with it on.
I don't care if you can walk with it on.
I can work with it on.
Give it to me.
I'm fine working with it.
Give me the Walkman.
I said I can work with it on.
Don't argue. Right, put it away. Put it away now, and I'll talk to you after.
Right.
Put it
Right,
away
if
now.
It makes you happy.
All right, let's have a look at your work, thanks. Let's have a look at your work. Has he got it on again? Have you got it on again?
Yeah, I said I can work with it on,
Look,
sir.
don't argue with me. Just put it away. Give it to me, or get out.
Mr. Wire lets me
I
have
don't
it on.
care
Why
what
should
Mr.
you
Wire.
care?
I don't care what Mr. Wire does. Go on.
I do.
Right, if you're going to argue with me about a Walkman, you can leave my class.
Why are you always
Leave the
picking on me?
class.
Shut up!
Go and see Mr. Brown. He gets paid £900 more than I'd even see him. Go on, get out. Out you go. Thank you. All right, come on, get back to work. Get back to work, thank you. Oh, jeez. You can suggest that one, okay? Right. Joe, you all right there? That's a shot. Oliver, I notice you're not working.
Yeah.
You're not working, not doing any work, there's nothing here.
I haven't got a pen.
You haven't got a pen? There's a pen in my yellow box up there.
I haven't got a ruler.
You haven't got a ruler? There's a ruler in the yellow box as well.
I haven't got a pencil.
There's a pencil in there as well.
I haven't got paper.
There's lined and planed paper next to the yellow box. Oliver. All right? Keep going over here, guys, all right? Let's have a look. Yes, there's not a lot, is it?
What are you doing, sir?
SHIT. Okay, I'll come and check your work in a sec. Okay, Joe, let's have a look. Many of the incidents that we observe here as the teacher's moving around the class during the on-task phase of the lesson, many of them are quite small in themselves, but again it's the frequency, a number of them. What we're trying to do in our early meetings with the class is to develop a positive habituation. We don't start arguments with children though over chewing gum, having objects that they ought not to have. Take the incident of the pen. It's a small incident in itself, but it can easily get out of hand by the teacher asking the student why they haven't got a pen, why they've got a Walkman on their desk, and also comparing one teacher to another. Arguing about what other teachers do is irrelevant. We need to do what we believe is right, relative to the school rules and responsibilities, of course. When students don't put the Walkman away, or don't put the phone away or the toy, we need to make the consequences clear, using the language of choice. In effect, I can't really make the student put it away, and if I grab the Walkman off him, or the phone or the toy, it can easily start an argument, as we've seen before, to the point where we simply exit the student from the room. If a student doesn't put it away, we make the consequences clear in a deferred way. If you choose not to put the Walkman away, this will have to be followed up later. This is not a threat, but it does leave the responsibility with the student, and most students will put it away. When they don't put it away, the important thing here is to make sure we carry through with the certainty, not the severity, but the certainty of the consequence. But in the immediate emotional moment, we put the ball back in the student's court. Yeah.
Just doing a platter. Jasmine. Hey, I'm just doing a platter. Jasmine, get off me! Just doing a platter. Yeah, but
Jasmine, Francesca, Jasmine, Francesca, come on, settling down. This is class teaching time, class learning time, all right? All right, I've asked you before about this. If you can't settle down, I'm going to have to ask you to work separately. Now think about it, all right? How's it going over here? Let's have a look. Have a look at your work.
Jasmine, I told you to get off! Why should I get off? Oh, you stupid bitch!
Jasmine, Francesca, back in your seat now, thanks. Jasmine, come with me. You need some time.
What did I do?
Come on, you need some time. Come
What
with
did I
me.
do though?
Come with me, thanks.
Hey, hate this class.
With a more serious incident like this with the two female students,